What's up, guys? Welcome to Landscaping to the Point.
What's going on? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Hey, Nick. And we have Nick here from didnt.
Hey.
What's going on, Nick? Welcome to
What's going on,
Landscaping
guys?
to the Point.
I know,
Get to get you on here. Yeah. We are live on Instagram, guys. So hopefully everybody's up and gonna be having a fun time here tonight. So we are live on Instagram, YouTube, Landscaping to the Point, Landscapes by Acme. So we're going to talk about some different things, I would assume, since it's a brand new year. So JC, let's talk to you. And Nick, I know you don't got that much time, so we're going to jump on you too also. We got some other guests coming on. So we're going to, this is the end of 2023. Tell me what didn't work for you guys this year. That's what I want to know. What didn't work for you guys this year?
The weather.
Yeah, the weather always plays a part in us. I mean, everybody it kind of messes with this, nonstop. So what about you, Nick? What didn't play a part to you? Was it the weather also, or was it something else this year?
Weather played a big part this year. I mean, there for what was it, September? The whole month was just nobody was caught up. In Florida, it doesn't matter where you were in the country. It seems like that whole month was just a nightmare. Maybe it was August. Y'all remember it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of rain at different parts. Like, I mean, we were dry for a long time. And then just got to that wet part for a while there, and then it just kind of dried out again in our area, and it just kind of sucked where it was green enough, but it was dry, and it was like, okay, what are we going to do next? So I know you had got more rain down in your area, correct, Nick?
There was 1 week, I think I got like 18 yards. The whole month was kind of screwed, and then the very next month, the Sahara, I mean, everything just dropped. Trying to get caught up on all the yards to skipping yards the very next.
Oh yeah, and JC I know has had a up and down weather this year, and here we are going into the end of the year with no snow for JC, and he loves it right now. I bet.
I do love not having snow, but this whole year has just been saturation, and it hasn't stopped, and it's even raining right now. It doesn't want to end the year with being dry. It's been so crazy for this year, and everything just been the lawns have been saturated. Just not ideal conditions to be mowing at all this year, and the leaf cleanups it was odd. I'm ready for 2024.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good question for you guys. Do you have everything packed away and ready to go for next year? I know I have all my stuff washed down, grease ready.
I just did a leaf cleanup yesterday.
Wow.
So I've held on for so long this year. I did 3 in the past 2 days. So my stuff is still the way it's looked all season. And I'm going out again on January 2nd, Tuesday. I'll be out again. So
wow, that's amazing. Oh yeah. Well, we have another guest. I'm going to pop him on. We have Pablo from Black Sheep. Welcome, Pablo. How are you, sir?
How you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Pablo.
Oh,
so we were just talking. We were just talking, Pablo, about what didn't work right for you this year. Most of us have been the weather. How's the weather been down there? And was there stuff that didn't work right for you guys?
I mean, I would say the weather's been a big thing. It was kind of dry for us.
Okay.
So the mowing, it was there was time that we couldn't mow because it was so dry that it would actually hurt the grass instead of doing any good. So we had to kind of like skip some of the services. Other than that, on my personal level with the company, it will be employees. That was another key problem for us this year.
Jeez.
Other than
Yeah.
that, everything else it was kind of smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, I think employees is always hard, especially in the lawn care business, because some people like to get into it and think it's easy, and then some are just like, it's not it's not for me, you know. So it's like, you know, one of those things. You're like, what do I do? You know, and especially us as business owners, it's hard to get that right person. And once you get that person, it's like you got to make sure you keep them and try to do what you can to keep them. You know, and that's one thing I always notice, that it's always hard to do once you find it. It's just about keeping that person and trying to make that person pleased, as long as they're pleasing you and making sure everything's going right for you guys.
Yep.
So going into 2024, we're going to be 2024 here in less than like 4 hours now. What do you guys? What is one big goal for you guys for next year? I'd like to hear this stuff, because I mean, we all got goals for the business and everything. So I want to hear what goals you guys got. Go ahead, anybody. I'll jump you out with Nick. Go for it, Nick.
I actually put a YouTube out yesterday or day before about goals for 2024. I'm not one of these that what I'm going to do. Y'all watch what I do this year, but that I have got to implement this year, and I've talked to all three of y'all about it, is I'm going to use the verbiage custom instead of a contract. But all the second half of the season, I've had a running tally, I guess, in my head of ones that I want from the customer, that the customer to me. I've never done contracts in the 5 years I've been full time, and it's just got to it's a must for me, just because percent of my customers, it doesn't even pertain to them, and I hate to push it on them, but it's the 10% that like to take advantage of things, that like to twist stuff and white. And like I said, I've never done it, but this year P&H Lawn Care will have. That's my top thing. So
yeah, that's
if you can call, that's what I think.
That's a goal. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and I'll be reaching out to
goal.
y'all for advice on how to word it too. So get ready for that.
Hey, we're always ready to happy. JC, one goal from you for next year going into 2024. What do you got?
Less business goals and more personal goals, man. I want to travel more. I got to do a little bit of that this year, thankfully, and then I plan on doing it again next year. I don't know where, I don't know how. I just know that I want to. And lately, I've been getting a bug for wanting to buy a muscle car. Ooh. And so I'm a 1970 Chevelle kind of guy, and I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish that next year, but I'm going to work towards saving up for that. And yeah, that's what I want to do. And then just for 2024, I look forward to a better season, better weather. Opposite of Pablo, it's been dry for him. We got all his rain, like we were just talking about, earlier this whole entire year. So I hope for a better season, and just I can't complain. It was a good year, I guess. And we're all still here, so we got a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a real good goal too. I mean, working on yourself is real important too. And, it's all about mental health. And if you're not in that right mental health, by pleasing yourself and business and life, you got to have that happy medium between both. And that's a really good goal. Pablo, what do you got? What's one good goal for you, man, for next year?
I would say the same thing that I talked earlier about trying to find a good employee,
right? So
that I can delegate some of my maintenance regular stuff, and then try to lean more towards doing gardens and making like really nice flower beds, trying to get more with like some sort of pavers, but not like in a big way, more like edging on the flower beds and stuff like just kind of like more creating more appeal to the flower beds, making it more beautiful to the eye. Also, I'm gonna try to get all my customers to add the maintenance on the flower bed as well, because I got a bunch of customers that I only do the yard, the grass, and that's it. And the flower bed looked like crap the entire year, even though I kind of asked them to take care of the flower bed, but they don't want it. I guess they don't want to pay or whatever. But if I make a deal and try to push that deal with them, you know, charging not the full amount, but something in between so I can get it done and always look nice the entire year. That would be nice for me, I think, as a company. So when people see that the grass is gonna be nice, plus the flower bed, so it's gonna be like everything. And might be a difficult in the beginning with the customer that I have right now, but I'm sure any new customer that it's coming, it will be like that. But I can't do it if I don't have the right employees, because then I have to have my time towards the grass part of the business.
Yes. I agree with you on that one. I mean, that's one thing that we always strive for is when we pull up to a yard, we try to do everything we can for the customer. And it's hard I mean, we used to be a company we used to have 11 guys and we did everything, and it was hard to get everybody all over the place. But now that it's me and two other guys, we can condense down and we each know what we got to do. So, if we go to a job and I know that the weeds need to be pulled, we'll go ahead and pull the weeds. One of us will do that while the other two are mowing. And it's just, that helps out if everybody knows what they're doing and you got the right people that know exactly what they're doing. And that's always a good goal for anything on this. So I want you guys to introduce yourselves. Nick, we have somebody over on Instagram, some girl, her name is Veggie Girl 712. She's saying, who's the hot guy with the glasses? So I guess that's you. So I guess we got another admirer here today. So JC's putting his glasses on. JC's always got them girls chasing after him. But Nick, I guess you got one today. So why don't you guys introduce yourself? I know I'm Scott from Landscapes by Acme. Go on, Nick, go ahead, introduce yourself and where you're from.
Nick Phillips, P&H Lawn Care, Kingsport, Tennessee. You can find me on YouTube, P&H Lawn Care, all over Instagram. Have an idea who Veggie Girl is. So, no.
Pablo, where are you from, buddy?
I'm in St. Cloud, Florida. We do all kind of maintenance for right now. Been here for the last 5 years, in business for 3 years, and I love it. I love it here.
And you're from Black Sheep Lawn and Landscape, right? Or just Black Sheep Lawn?
It's like the Black Sheep Lawn Service. It's a long name, but yeah, you can, just the Black Sheep. It's a little better.
I love your logo, dude. I really do love your logo. It stands out just so much, man. And JC, where can everybody find you besides here?
Oh man, JC, I'm on JC the Lawn Care Guy on Instagram. Part-time lawn squad mowing and full-time podcaster with Scott over here, and just talking about Black Sheep. Here it is.
Yes, nice. That is one of the coolest logos I've ever seen. You had to put some really good time in thinking how to do that. And I mean that makes you stand out right there.
Thank you. It was just like a brainstorm with my kids, and we kind of grabbed everybody's idea in the family and came out with that. It came out with really good. I like it. I love it.
Oh yeah, I think everybody does. All right, so we got what our goals are pretty much. My goal is pretty much to expand on our landscaping division next year. And try to expand a little bit more and get more landscaping done We are slowly getting rid of a lot more of our mowing services. It's just because in our area, there's a lot more people undercutting a lot of people for a way, way lower. We really bid on a good account, and the account before us upped their price to actually where they should be at. And once I gave them the quote, they kind of like chuckled to me and was like, "Are you sure that's the right price?" And I said, "Yeah, that's the right price." And someone else came in and underbid us, let's say by a couple $100,000 for a year's worth of service. So it's all about knowing your numbers, and a lot of these companies are now just jumping into the game and bidding out whatever they can. So we're going to push more towards landscaping next year. So that's a goal that I got going on. But to all you guys, what kind of piece of equipment are you guys looking to add to your business? Or is there a software or a mower or a 2-cycle piece of equipment that you guys might want to add next year that it just stands out to you and you definitely need to add that to your business for next year? We'll go with Pablo.
Well, there's a few things that I've been looking since I start, but the major thing right now there's two. There's what do you call it? Dump trailer.
Yeah.
And a saw cutter. I'm trying. That's something that I didn't say, but I'm kind of leaning towards saw. Putting new saw in the properties, which is a big thing over here. So I might go that route and get actually a machine that do the saw cutting.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say definitely a dump trailer is perfect. Anybody in lawn and landscape, it's definitely worth it, especially if you're bagging grass. It's definitely worth it. I mean, we bought one 3 years ago, and I tell you what, I'm amazed by how much time it saved us in the long run. And the sod cutter, yeah, you can make some really good money changing out sod and reinstalling it. Especially a lot of these people always looking to get one little section to get fixed, and it's going to come out and definitely make some good money, extra services for your business. Nick, what kind of stuff are you looking to add for next year?
Pablo and I actually have been texting back and forth about a dump trailer. I've got it pulled up on my phone just because this is on my wish list here. I'm looking at the Iron Bull with the 4-foot sides, 7x16. Buddy of mine about last month let me borrow one of his for 3 weeks. I had that thing for 3 weeks. It became clear to me a dump trailer for my business. It is an absolute must.
Okay.
But Pablo and I've been talking about it for a while now, and by any means, it's just I met him at Expo. I'm also implementing Jobber this year. Finally.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that's one thing, it's awesome. Go ahead, Nick.
I've been coached into it by a few people, not mentioning any names, but a couple of them are on the screen right now.
Just a couple of us. Okay, we'll go with that. I mean, I think we've been looking at a couple different dump trailers to add to another one to our fleet. And actually, we were looking to do kind of like the DMT from Mulchmate, but there's a company in Tennessee that actually has a better deal on one, because we'd like to have that flat part and then the dump trailer also. I mean, that's one thing that we're looking to add, probably by the end of next year, besides another truck. JC, what are you looking to add to your list of stuff? I know you're part-time, but I think you were looking at like a truck. Are you still looking to buy a truck there, JC?
Yeah, I've been currently without a truck for almost half the season towards the end. Mine kind of crapped out on me. It was just a 2004 Dodge Dakota, the 4.8. And it finally passed its time. So I've been using my brother-in-law's on the weekends, which he's been able to let me borrow graciously. So I'm looking for a more smaller, mid-size truck like I had. So that's definitely on the list for next year soon. And then something else too that I've been kind of trying to do this year, but I haven't got a chance to, is less of equipment and more of accessories, toolbox, tool organization, just to kind of get all my maintenance stuff in line and to have all the tools that I need to work on. Because I do my own maintenance on all, not that I have a lot of equipment, but I do all my maintenance and, fixing small things, minor things that I can. So having the workspace available and having the organization, the right tools to do all the job, that's something I'm trying to look forward to into being able to do next year for next season too.
That's awesome. I think that's the main thing too, right there. Having the right organization, also with having the right type of tools is perfect for anyone going into business, and continuously having that organization. I think that's, I know at our shop we get everything, and sometimes we just throw stuff around at the end of the day, but that's one thing. At the end of the year, we take a good month and we just go through and just make sure everything's back where it needs to be. Go through, clean the shop totally out. We'll pull stuff out and just tear it apart and redo it all, just to make sure that we got everything right where it goes, and get it all organized again for the season. Because sometimes during the season, it's just so hectic that we don't have that time to go ahead and just spend that time and do that. So organization
tools are expensive. They
yeah.
add up, and it's all about having the right ones to do the job,
Oh yeah. So talking about tools, like what kind of tools do you guys, name me one tool you guys can't live without in your business? That's good. That's a good one here. Pablo, what's one tool you couldn't live without in your business right now?
A string trimmer.
String trimmer? Which one though?
Right now I'm always, not right now, always. I'm being a 2620 fan. But to me, a trimmer, doesn't matter what kind, is the go-to to make the yard look nice.
Oh yeah.
Because you do the edging, you can do trimming around the house and around the flower beds, around everywhere, and you make the yard look the way you like. Mowers, you can use a zero turn, you can use a push mower, and it will do the same job. It's not, but a string trimmer, you gotta have that. It's no way around it.
It's the icing on the cake.
Oh yeah. I think string trimmers are the best one. What's your go-to string trimmer? What brand and what kind of motor is it?
The 2620 CRM Echo.
Okay.
It's the one that I most use. It's actually the only one I have. The only type of trimmer that I have with that engine.
Nice. Nick, what's your go-to one piece of equipment you can't live without right now in your business?
The 2620T or the 9010T or anything that has an echo on it.
Okay. Well, how many 9010s do you have? I think we have a thing here going. How many 9010s? I'm gonna guess 4. JC, what's your guess?
I just have 2.
For Nick,
just 2, Nick? Come on. Come on.
I got the 8010 and 9010.
No, I bumped up both my 8010s to the 9010s, but
nice.
I've got
There's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. We actually just got rid of 3 weed whips from way back, and we have probably like 20 weed whips between our shop and our trailer. So I don't see there's a problem with that. But you can never have too many. That's you just got to learn that. You can't have too many. You got to keep adding to that collection, I think. JC, what's one tool that you couldn't live without your business?
It's going to be different. It's going to be my impact driver.
Nice.
I'm always sharpening my blades and cleaning out the bottom of my deck. I do that religiously. It's just I'm kind of weird. I like keeping my equipment as nice and as clean, as new as possible after I finish up using it. So it's just kind of my compulsive disorderness, I guess. I sharpen my own blades too. So the impact driver is huge. I think I would have to say the impact driver, the angle grinder, my all-American sharpener. Just those accessories I think really help out. Because if you don't have that, you can't really get anything done.
Right. Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. There's a lot of good things you guys just put out, and Nick over at One Love on Facebook, YouTube he's on, said his dump trailer is one thing he can't live without. So I mean, there's a lot of things that I couldn't do without day to day. I think really my phone, being able to use my phone. We use our phones for pretty much, not usually a lot for social media and stuff, but that we use it for all our invoicing, all our logging in of everything from Jobber that we use. And it's just be able to send the invoices right then and there and do all that stuff. For us, that's our main go-to piece of equipment. I talk to my guys left and right and talk to my customers nonstop every day. So, I mean, that's my one go-to piece of equipment I couldn't live without in business anymore. So, there's a lot of people on Instagram. Thank you guys for all being on. Thank you guys for being on right now on YouTube, Facebook, everything you guys are on. So I'm going to throw this out to you guys because I know this is we haven't done this in a while, but is Meg 2 real? Is it a real shark or not? That's what I want to know.
What about number 1?
I don't know. I mean, number 1 wasn't as scary, I don't think. I mean, but Meg 2, I mean, there's like 3 of them in it. So is there really? I mean, really, are they down there? I mean,
you have to ask Pablo. He's the one that lives.
Yeah, Josh. Pablo, tell me about this. I mean, is it really true? Is there Meg dinosaur sharks down there or not?
I have no idea, man. You gotta go really deep to figure that one out.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're from Wisconsin, right? Pablo, you like Wisconsin cheese, right?
Actually, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see, Minnesota. Yeah. See. I knew you were from up that way, so you probably like the snow better than the heat most of the time, I bet.
I'll tell you that. From being Puerto Rican to go to Minnesota and like the cold weather the way I like, it's a story of my life.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. So now you guys are, smaller companies. We're all small here. We're not huge companies, but we also do a lot of work and we do good work at it. What is one thing that you want to do personally? And we know JC wants to travel more, but personally, what one thing do you guys, Pablo and Nick, want to do personally in your lives for next year?
Go ahead, Pablo.
About it. He's
I want to grow my beard like Pablo.
Yeah, I want to hear it, Pablo. You want to become a chef, right, Pablo?
Nah, but doing some sort of a college or something that related to anything has to deal with gardening or the knowing of plants and something that kind of keep me informed on everything that I need to know, other than working on the field. More like within the books. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So so that way I have a more complex idea of what to do and how to do it actually without hurting the plants or the customer pocket. I don't know if it's going to happen this coming year, but that's something that has been in my head for a while now.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I think that's also important. I mean, that's something everybody in the landscaping business should do. I mean, that's just to learn the plants is very important. I mean, I've been in the business 20-some years, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of plants that I still don't know the names to, but there's a lot that I can point out to a customer, and I'll know right away when I talk to a customer, and that's good and thing to have in your mind, is to learn a lot of that stuff, so that way you can talk to that customer and say, hey, here's a boxwood. This is what it does. This is what diseases it has. This is what I can do to help you prevent those diseases. there's a lot of stuff that people don't know, even in lawns. If you're just mowing lawn, I mean, you should know of like kind of like the funguses in a lawn, what type of grass you're cutting, there's so much things that you should know mowing grass, and to just be able to just go out and mow grass, and I always thought that that's always something everybody should learn, when you start a mowing company, is learn that. That's always important. Yeah, that's a good one. That's something really to work on, and, go after it, Pablo. Just go after it, man. Definitely do what you can to get it. I mean, no matter how long it takes you, just go after it and do it, man. Put your mind to it, and I know you can do it. Definitely can, dude. Nick, what personally do you want to do? I know we've been talking about you're gonna get a place in some other area of Tennessee and Kentucky area, right?
I hope that's over with, because we've been going to Nashville. We've been doing that because of my daughter's doctor's appointments. We've been to Nashville, I think 12 times this year alone, just for the surgeries and the follow-ups and all that stuff. So I hope that's done. But say some prayers up there for that. No, my thing personally is kind of to work all. So I want to get it to where I'm not until dark every day, like where I actually have a time that I get off instead of just going the whole. So I can set aside. I've got one that's getting ready to go off to college in the fall. And except for the winter, I'm missing everything. So I'm not saying off job by any means, but something more realistic, like say 8 to 5, 8 to 6, or something that I can be part of this besides in December, January, and February. So that's kind of my goal.
That'd be awesome. I mean, that's always, I think it's always hard, but if you have a set time, try to stick to it as much as you can. I mean, that's something I think we always try to do, especially on Saturdays. When we work Saturdays, is we don't start till 8 o'clock. We're done at 1 o'clock. We don't work past 1 o'clock. And that's one thing. If we got to work a Saturday, we're not working that late, and a lot of the places around us to get materials close early. So it's kind of one of those things that we're done. I don't want to work too late. I want to spend time with my family, and I know my guys want to do the same. So that's always a good thing to work forward to, spending time with your family and having that set time. I think your family would enjoy that, Nick, going ahead and going forward with that. JC wants to travel. JC, where is one place you want to see next year if you could travel?
Man, I don't know. I haven't really kind of thought of what I want to plan to do or try to do. Sometimes things happen spontaneously, and I just like wake up one day and decide I want to, try to go this place. I have some destinations on my bucket list, one of which being Spain. And an interesting story behind that is that my sister did one of those DNA tests results, that kind of explain your heritage and your lineage and stuff. And we found out that I'm more Spanish than I am Puerto Rican. And she was able to trace back to an explorer that traveled from Spain to Puerto Rico. And it was back when Spain kind of conquered Puerto Rico and so there was like battles and wars. Anyways, this guy, his last name was Ortiz, and he ended up becoming a mayor of a town in Puerto Rico. And during the course of moving his family there, the Tainos and the natives that were living there, they ended up killing his wife and his 2-year-old son or something like that. It was kind of crazy story. Anyways, I won't bore you with the rest of it, but there's a book written on him. My mother is in Puerto Rico right now, and she brought the book with her on the airplane, and she's reading it. It's all in Spanish. And there's a picture of like a plaque of this guy who's, I guess he's somehow related to me, or I'm related to him. and he's definitely related because we both have the same nose. But it's interesting. I'll try to Pablo. I'll try to get you the name of that book. It's my mom's telling me it's quite interesting, and my Spanish reading level isn't fully there, so it'd be good to pick it up and practice it and just to kind of read it. But I know I went off on a whole side story here, but yeah, Spain's one of the places I want to go to. I don't know, Italy, Chile. Want to go back to Japan. Anywhere, put me on a plane.
Right.
That's what I want.
You just want to fly in,
yeah,
and just spend some time. Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah. I'll go visit Pablo. I'll go visit Nick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anytime.
For sure, my doors are open, man. Anytime, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think you should become a traveling landscaper. There you go, JC. Just travel, visit all the people and that and just stop in a city and just shout it out like, hey, I'm here in the city, come find me, and just start working with people. Stay in one city for like a week and then just travel to another city. There you go, JC.
There's a YouTube channel.
World tour, yeah.
World tour, JC. Okay. Who's the fifth person on your missed calls list?
Huh. Missed calls?
Yeah.
No one calls me.
Nobody calls you, so you don't have the fifth one's missing? You haven't missed a call in for a while? I think for me, it would be the missed calls. I mean, I had 5 missed calls today, and one was my wife. So, I mean, I would say probably my wife. I think it was the fifth one back because I didn't have my phone.
I'm probably on everybody's missed calls. Like, I'm the one, calling them.
Spam.
Pablo, you missed any calls lately?
Probably my wife, like you say, but don't you guys get these phone calls? Sometimes the phone doesn't even sound, and you get a voicemail, and it's a freaking stupid company offering you money from the bank, like $100,000 for the company.
Oh yeah. This is so and so. We want to give you $30,000 for your business. All you have to do is call us back and answer 5 questions, and we'll give it to you in no time.
The bad thing, listen, the bad thing is in Florida, leads so many people from other states, and most of the time I gotta answer the phone all the time. So every time I answer, that's that answering machine, like, hey, my name is James, blah 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 blah, with the same thing saying about money. I hate that.
Oh yeah, I hate that when I get those calls. I mean, I know some of the numbers that come through. If they ain't my area code, I'm not answering them, or mine, or the one, because we're right on the edge of Ohio and Michigan. So it's like them 2 area codes. If it ain't those area codes, I'm not answering it. And it's half the time those calls are like that, an advertisement saying, you get this money, or it's a Google call saying you need to verify your Google with us today, and it's only going to cost you $20 to verify it. And I'm like, I'm not calling you back to verify my Google when I know my Google is good. Like,
I get the IRS agents that don't know how to speak English and tell me I have a warrant for my arrest.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh,
Not
Nick,
like
do you get any weird
Pablo,
calls like that? You probably do.
I get some spam, but yeah, I get both of what they're talking about. But what's crazy is, like Pablo, there's so many people moving in to Tennessee from other states. You've got to answer it, because California, Texas, Maryland, and I'm like, oh, that's spam. And the next thing I know, boom, there's a voicemail, and so I'm having to answer a lot of what I think is spam, because we've got so many out of staters coming in here. So and a bad thing. So
yeah, I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. I mean, some of them calls, I'm just like, okay, why are you calling me? We have one every year. It's at least, he calls at least 3 times. he wants us to donate money to his cause, and he calls and says, "This is so and so's business, and we want you to donate to our cause. Please give us your PayPal account so we can get it over. What would you like to donate?" I'm like, dude, you're not a business, really. Like, and I'm not going to donate to your cause, first off, and I'm not giving you my PayPal account either. So, like, how do you want this to work? Like, yeah, there's so many, dude. I I don't know. I mean, them are weird things.
When customers call you guys, is it on your cell phone, or do you have a business office line, like a secretary that answers?
That's a good one.
Myself,
Yeah, I wish I would have known that before I started the business and I did the Google account and the whole yada yada. Because when I started, I didn't know that exists, that you can, put some sort of app or whatever to answer the phone and use an actually local number. So yeah, right now it's my phone. So everything that is concerned to the business, even the spam, will call my personal phone.
Yeah, I use my personal phone too. Pretty much, I've been this way ever since I started my business. I don't think I've ever have changed my business number since. And literally, I think everybody that calls me, I know who, if it's one of my friends, I have them saved in my thing as like, this is who this is. And I know my customers' names. So mostly when my customers are calling, I know right away who they are. And, sometimes now with more technology now that it pops up their name, like I can be like, "Hey, Alex, how's it going?" And he'll be like, "Wait a minute. How do you know my name?" Well, it popped up to my thing because I have you saved. So, I can tell you who's calling, and it's a lot different from years past when you didn't know all that information, and you were like, who is this? Who who are you calling? Who's texting? That's and I wish I had a dedicated line too, but a lot of times I get a lot of messages that I'll go ahead and call back. Do you guys, if you can get a message left, any of you guys, how long does it take you to answer that message back? On average. Nick's over there laughing. It must take him a couple. Let's say it's middle of the season. Let's say, here we go. Let's say it's spring when you're backed up out of nowhere and you got no time for anything. How long would you answer somebody call? Let's say they're calling they want to get you to come and do their mulching. When would you call them back?
I don't answer my voicemails till that night. I'll back the trailer in, get out, and love to do, and I'll start answering the voicemails. But I don't have while I'm out in the field. I'm just not going to.
Okay, Pablo.
I try to answer and kind of at least say hi and hello right away, or call back right away as soon as I can, just to kind of give that possible customer the sense that I care about new customers. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go running to their house and give them a quote right away, but just to kind of give that sense of important to them, and sometimes even they're kind of close to where I'm at, so I can swim by really fast and take a look at the property. That way, I don't have to like go back to take a look at the property,
Right.
And I told them straight up, like, hey, I'm working today, whatever, which is every day, and just send me a text with your full name and your address, and as soon as we get the opportunity, we swim by, take a look at the property, and we go from there. And they most of the time agree and send the text. Something that I want to say: when you got your Google, your business on Google, people tend to call through Google, right? And when they hit that call button, they are actually calling another number sometimes, not your number. So it happened to me at the beginning and still happening. Sometimes I tell them to text me their name and their address, and I never get the the text, so I didn't show up, or they didn't call back, thinking that they didn't want to follow up with me or whatever. And it turned out to be that the Google called my number through another number. So be aware of that.
That's very good information. I didn't know that. Like, that's now, since you know that now, do you tell people to text or email you?
I still do most of my stuff on my phone, so I kind of go with the text. But since I know that for a fact, I just make sure that they actually have my number. And if they do, well, then that's it. They send the information that I'm required just to kind of swing by to the house.
That's awesome. So I try to answer my calls as soon as I can. In between stops, I have time. Or if I'm in the middle of a landscaping job, I'll try to go ahead and answer it if I'm not working any big equipment. But most of the time, I try to answer my calls within 24 hours to get back to them, even if I'm not going to be able to service them. Usually my message pretty much says, leave your name, your address, what you're looking for. And if they're kind of out of an area that I'm not going to be in, or if I'm too busy, I'll call them back and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to help you out. Here's a couple other people that might be able to help you out in the area that I know of that are good. And, they might not be busy, but they might be busy. I can't tell you yes or no, but give them a call and find out, and then pretty much I'll go ahead and I'll relay the message. I'll text their name and their number to whoever I recommended. So that way they know that somebody's calling for them to say, hey, I got your name and number too, but thanks for calling. We'll talk to you then. I think it's always important sometimes that you try to answer it as fast as you can. And sometimes even like Nick, answering it at the end of the day, that's the best thing sometimes that works for you. And that, just letting people know you'll get back to them. If let them know on your voicemail, hey, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. That's the best thing you can do. Here's a question.
That's one. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's one thing you made a main point. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's amazing how they'll go, oh my gosh, you actually called me back, because I've called 5 other lawn companies today. None of them have returned my calls. So I may not get to them till that evening, but I make it a point because it's P&H Lawn Care. So what if they talk to somebody else? Hey, did you? Well, I called P&H. I called Black Sheep. And none of them called me back. I don't want them saying that. I want them to say, even if, like you said, even if I can't take them, I want the next person. Yeah, they called me back. They couldn't get to me because I'm out of their area. Maybe Nick was a real nice guy. Yada yada. I always make it a point, call them back, even if you're, like you said, even if you're not going to take them, because they talk and the people they talk to talk, and it just snowballs. So it's important just to call them back and say, hey, thanks for the call. Can't do anything for you. That means a lot to people in time, because whether you need a painter, a carpenter, your car fixed, whatever, people won't call you back. And we experience this as customers for other businesses. So that people just won't call you back. So, I mean, that's party. So that was my.
Hey, that's real good 2 cents. I mean, definitely. I mean, now when you go to do estimates, do you give your customers date and time when you're going to come do an estimate? Or like I'll try to tell my customers, unless they need to be there, if it's just an estimate for mulch or mowing or fertilization, I'll get their information and I'll just go ahead and email it when I'm there, or text it to them, the quote, when I get there. So I'll just tell them that I'll stop by this day and I'll go ahead and give you a quote. But if they need to be there, do you try to make sure that you're there on time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important to be there. If you give them a time, try to be there on time or be there early. I mean, I actually had one this year that she had called and she talked to 3 other companies. And when I came out, she said, she goes, I talked to 3 companies. They said they were going to come out. One of them she had called 2 weeks before I even showed up, and none of them ever showed up to give her an estimate. And so when I got out there and gave her the estimate, she was like, okay, you have the job. Like, I'm not going to search around for nobody else. You showed up. You gave me the estimate. It's yours. She's like, I'm not searching nowhere. I'm not, she goes, there's too many companies that say, oh yeah, I'll come out and give you the estimate and never show up. And I think that's one of the things is if you're going to say you're going to go do an estimate, go and do it. Like take the time and do the estimate, even if you go there, like, just like you're taking a call and saying, hey, I can't do the job. Hey, if you go there and you don't want to do the job, let them know, like, hey, I can't do this job because of this condition, or, I can't use my equipment here, or I'm going to have to use something that I don't have, but if you're going to be able to do it, tell them right then and there, give them a quote. That's one thing we like to do, and definitely I also like to email and text them the quote, even though I talk to them right then and there and give them a price. I'll go ahead and email and text them the quote, so that way they know it also, so it doesn't come back on me later down the road of them saying, oh, well, you told me $50 and it's actually 75. No, it's what I just texted, what we said, and I texted it to you. So going into 2024, we only have a couple more minutes left here, guys. What's one thing you could tell one business owner what they should work on for next year? Pablo.
I would say whatever I've been actually posting on Instagram and about this kind of stuff lately, because it's the end of the year. How your head start working on. I would say whatever you have in mind, don't overthink. If you have the will to do it, that means you can do it. If you're thinking about something that you think is a good idea, just go for it, man. Just go for it. If you failed for any reason, just go around that failed and do something different that it might work at the end. Just go for it. That's my take on whatever. If it's pressure washing, landscaping, pavers, or whatever you want to do, just go for it.
Yeah, very good advice, Pablo. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it, do it. That's one thing that you put your mind to it and do it. Anybody can do it. The only way you're going to fail is if you try it and you don't succeed at it. But there's always ways to make sure that you succeed at it, and it's you got to learn about it sometimes. And that's go out there and do it, learn it, and learn from others to succeed better at it if you have to. Like go out and anybody can do anything. Anybody can.
And you are the only enemy of yourself. It's yourself. You're your own enemy, nobody else.
So true. So true. Yeah. Nick, what's one thing you can tell somebody else? One other business owner.
If you're going to do it, do it. Don't overpromise and underdeliver, because if you're just starting in this business and you go and do this and want to do this, and you just start making all these promises to these new customers that you've fountain for that are flowing in, promise them all the moon, and you don't deliver on any of it, you're not going to be in business long, because the word will spread faster than Google.
Oh yeah.
And like it'll kill you. So keep your word.
Oh yeah. There was an old friend that told me once when I started in my business, he said it takes one call to get that job. It takes one call after you did a bad job or you didn't show up and finish the job to talk to 15 people. So one call makes 15 people know that you did a bad job after it. They might call one person afterwards and tell that one person you did an awesome job, but it's 15 people right afterwards that could turn around and hurt your business if you didn't do what you promised to do or do it the right way. So, JC, what's one thing that you could tell anybody for next year going in?
Yeah, especially starting off, don't undervalue yourself. I've made that mistake many times. Get to know your prices, and just like you were talking about, that lately there's been a lot of companies that have been undercutting other companies. Don't just take a job to get the job and then find out that that job isn't worthwhile for you and you're stuck doing it. You know your prices, know your worth, and your work will speak for itself. You know, if you're good at what you do and you take pride in what you do, like Pablo was saying, you know, it'll all work out for you. Don't, like you said, don't be afraid. Venture into something different, and you know, and that's how you learn, because you learn from your mistakes.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely good words. My one thing for everybody out there is set goals. Set goals on what you want to do, and just go out and crush them. Make sure that you can do them, because you know you can, and anybody can do anything. I mean, I was in a wheelchair at once, and look, I'm out here busting my butt every day and just living life and just enjoying it. And that's what you can do, is make them little goals. You know, if you got a big goal, make little goals to get to that big goal, and start with that little goal and keep pushing to get to that big goal. And at one time you will get to that big goal. It might take time, but you will get there. So you can do it. Get out there and do it. So thank you guys for being on. I want to thank everybody that's been watching. Thank you guys. Keep listening to us, Landscaping to the Point, on Spotify. You can watch us here, Landscaping to the Point, YouTube, Landscapes by Acme, YouTube, Instagram. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, JC, for being on. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Everybody have a great rest of the night. Enjoy it. Go have a party. Hey, 2024 is in less than 3 hours now. So enjoy, guys. See you
Hey,
guys.
love
Yeah,
all you
thanks.
guys. Happy New Year.